Hi, everyone. Can you hear us? I don't know if they could hear us. Can you hear me? Let me know.
It's on, I believe.
It is? Well, no one's
think so.
answering me.
Somebody comment if you can hear it. It's live. We're live.
Okay.
Well, it's your show. Start the show.
Hold on.
Unless that's what I'm here for. Yankees
Yes,
for
they
life. I'm a
can
Mets
hear
fan.
us. Okay, they can hear us. Hi, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. My daughter is here. She wants to say hello. Her name is Victoria.
You want to tell everyone what you just told me?
What?
What somebody's looking for or no?
No, I was only kidding. Say hello, my darling.
Hello, my darling.
Say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
She prefers to be called Victoria.
Yes.
Yep.
Are you gonna take the dogs downstairs so they don't bark?
Oh, that's all I have to do. Okay.
You want to stay and sit here with me? You can.
I'm actually gonna take the garbage out.
Oh, all right. Hi, everyone. Yep, that's my daughter Victoria. And if she doesn't take the dogs downstairs, they're gonna start barking.
Remember that time we were on the movie set of the Gotti movie and it was freezing out and everybody was freezing, but we had like a little tent with the heater?
Yes.
That was great.
Yeah.
She was there. She was there.
Yeah,
But,
she was. It was
and Debbie.
Yeah, and Debbie, yes.
When they were filming the movie?
Yeah.
I remember that day because I took the train down there to Brooklyn and I had to like switch like 3 trains to get to Bath Avenue where they were filming. And I'm like one of the trains was late, so I got to the show late, but it wasn't like me per se, it was the train. Maybe that's me, whatever. But I got there, like a little bit past call time because I was going to be in one of the scenes, and one of the actors was talking down to me, looking down at me, this is a professional, you're late and everything. And I just didn't say anything because I didn't tell him that I like why I was there and how I knew you guys or whatever. But then, like, later on, he just saw me, like your brother came in, he gave me a hug, and I'm hanging out with you and everybody, and it was just like, he treated me a lot different after that.
Who did?
One of the actors. I mean, we became, it was, and then...
I didn't even realize that. That was filmed on Bath Avenue?
Yeah, and it was in Anthony Sparrow's old social club, was where they headquartered the show
I
out of.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and they
I
filmed...
was there, and I didn't even realize that. Well, I never heard the name of Anthony Sparrow before.
Yeah, I forget. I don't know if I recognized it, but I believe maybe it was your brother. I don't remember who, but somebody pointed it out. Like, you know where we're filming, right? And it was just, and we were in the basement, and God only knows what went on in that basement. But that's where they filmed one of the scenes where it was supposed to be like the marshals are walking your brother through the tunnel, as part of the diesel therapy or going to court or whatever it was.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that was in the basement. And do you remember that there was like a dead rat in the driveway outside?
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. But Christopher Toro said, "Hello, Angel, Victoria, and Chris. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone." Justice TechPros went up, man. Happy JTP. Thank you for adding me to We Push Back. I didn't get a chance to thank you yet, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's a cool thing to be a part of. Appreciate it.
Yes. Well, yeah. I had asked you if you wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, but I just didn't get a chance to send him a message yet. But thank you, Dominic. I appreciate it.
I told him it was okay.
Yeah.
And hello, everyone. Blue Eyes, Johnny Boy, Christopher, JTP, Carol. There's a whole bunch of people here.
Angel, one of my favorite memories, and I so wish we had filmed it, but it was when they finished the last scene when we were by the waterfront, and now we're in Manhattan, I guess in the Upper East Side of, I don't know, 60s, 70s.
Tell everyone what we're talking about. We're talking about when they were filming the Gotti movie. We went during the day, and didn't we go at night also?
I think it was 2 days, because one day they did the Spark Steakhouse thing, and I told you the story. It was funny because they had like I forget what it's called, where they had the where they set up, like what kind of I don't know, it was in some office building or something where they set up like the cafeteria where they had the food and everything to feed everyone, right? and it was after or in between filming at Spark Steakhouse, and we got there early, like before the whole crew and everything got. Like if dinner was at 7:30, we were there at like 6:45, and it was empty. And we walk in, and we go to like set plates for ourselves, just me and you and Tony and Angela and everybody, just us. And I think it was the person who was in charge of it says, "Oh yeah, we can't eat till 7:30." And I forget what your brother said, but it was funny. He was like, "Listen, sweetheart, just put the food out." And it's like, yeah, I don't know if you remember that, but it was funny.
Yeah, I muted it for a minute because the dogs are getting crazy.
No, but then it was. I guess it was the next.
Sarah, looks. Even Sarah Phillips found us. Look at that.
Who's that?
Sarah Phillips. She does this in everyone's chat.
She said Rudy John was found dead in his home. Authorities are calling it a suicide.
Yeah, she does it every I feel honored, Sarah, that you came to visit us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be trolled by you. Thank you, Sarah. Yes. No, but the next night though, it was when they were filming the last scene by the waterfront, and they had Travolta there, and he was wearing your father's. He was dressed up as your father, but he was wearing your father's actual like suit and overcoat and tie and pinky ring and everything. And I so wish I had filmed it. And we were talking to him, and I don't remember what question I asked him, but I was asking out of curiosity and as an artist, and I asked him about Pulp Fiction, a question. I think I asked him what he thought when he first read the script, and I think he said, if I remember this right, that he wasn't sure if he wanted to do it because he's like, do I want to play like a junkie, like a heroin addict? Do I really want to do that? But somehow he just started doing impressions from it, and from Get Shorty, he just starts doing impressions dressed up as your father. And he does the impression from Get Shorty. He's like, I own you. And then he's like, I shot Marvin in the face, like dressed up as your dad, but in character as like Vincent Vega. And it was so timeless. I wish we had filmed it.
I know. I wish we filmed that too. We had a nice night. I tried to tell everybody what a wonderful human being he is.
Yeah, what a nice guy. Yeah.
Amazingly nice man.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So tell us about Thanksgiving with the real John Gotti. What were your Thanksgivings like with your dad?
Like everybody else's.
What does that mean? He hit the gym the next morning, or he slacked off the next morning? What does that mean? To work it off.
Thanksgivings were just like everybody else's Thanksgiving.
Well, where would you have them? Would you have them at your house in Howard Beach? Or?
Yeah, we were always home for that. Always home for Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Eve. Always home. And he loved it. You know what it is? Hi, mind someone else's business. Hi, Highlight. Craig, Grant. What happened? I mean, with us, we used to. My mom cooked up a feast. He loved that, and like Thanksgiving was like it was like the start to the Christmas season. So. My father loved Christmas and Christmas Eve. He loved it, and I love it. That's my favorite night of the whole year is Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day comes in second. But our holidays were just like everyone else. I mean, we didn't do anything, different than most families. My mom cooked. She cooked up a storm, and my grandma would come over. My grandpa came over. Basically that's it, and all of us, and then he wasn't, after my brother died, we didn't have holidays for a long time until my son was born. When my son was born, then everything became like they put up a tree again. We had a Christmas tree because, we had the baby. Everybody was happy with the baby, my dad. And then, as the following Christmas, it got a little better because now Frankie was a year and a half. So, now he started to understand, Christmas and stuff. So, I mean, our holidays were like everybody else's after that, I mean, for like there was 4 years. After my brother died, we didn't have any holidays in the house. I used to take my little brother, Peter, and we would go to my Uncle Jeannie's house. That's where we spent Christmas because Peter was 5. So he was still like, a baby, really. So we would go to I would take him and we would go to my Uncle Jeannie's house. And that's where we spent Christmas and Christmas Day. And then like I said, then I got married, and then I had my son, and everything, got back to, slowly a little bit more normal.
What year was Frank born?
My son?
Yeah.
84.
Okay.
So for 4 years, we didn't do anything.
When you got married in 84, like what time of the year was it? Was it like
No, I got married in 83. My
I'm
son
sorry.
my son was born in 84.
So was it like a summer wedding or a November wedding? Like what was that like?
Okay. The day I got married, it was in September, and it had to be the hottest day. It was like, and I purposely picked September so that it wouldn't be really hot, and it was 98 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hot, humid 98 degrees.
And that was on purpose? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said.
What?
I didn't hear what you just said. You said it was on purpose?
How would I say it's on purpose? How's the weather going to be on purpose?
No, I didn't hear what you said, like why you picked September.
Oh, I purposely picked September so that it wouldn't be hot and steamy.
Okay.
And, I remember I had 3 choices. The dates were, there was a date in July, August, or September. And so we picked September so that it wouldn't be hot. And meanwhile, it was 98 degrees. That's what I should have said. It's not your fault. It's my fault.
And?
What's my opinion of Carmine? I always say brother-in-law.
I mean, my opinion is I like the fact that he made A like shaking his boots.
Yeah, he sure did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I loved him like a brother. That's the hardest thing about divorce is that when you get divorced, it's like the family gets divorced too. It's like really hard. Look, he's remarried. He lives in Ohio. He has, other children now. Listen, I'll never say anything bad about him for one reason, because he's still my nephew's father. And I love my nephews. I adore the ground my nephews walk on. So that's their father. I'm not going to talk.
And on top of that, he made A like piss himself.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Wait. So what was the story? A Light got word that Carmine was coming to a restaurant where A Light was.
It was the Harbor Club. The Harbor Club.
And he ran out the back and hopped the fence.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He likes to play tough guy now, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He did. He hopped the fence in the Harbor Club. There are people there to back that up.
What was on the other side of the fence? Was it like water? Like
I don't know. I don't know. I never went to I went to that. I went there once for my godchild sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't remember what it was like. I don't remember anything. I mean, I just remember the sweet 16. I didn't go in the back. I remember her party. But yeah, that yes, he did.
The word that I heard was that after he got chased in 91, there were people coming around like, wait, he's not with you guys anymore? No, he's not with us. So we can do whatever we want. I don't know. Looking for him allegedly, but
yeah.
But somebody, Cuban B, said there is a social media squad added to We Push Back. Check it out, folks. I don't know, Dominic, do you want to come on and tell everyone what the plans are for We Push Back? If you can say, maybe you can't say it just yet, but I'd love to know more about it. But my gut feeling is that it's going to be a very cool thing once it's up and running.
Yeah, I am so proud to be a part of that. I really am, because
it's a necessary thing.
That's not her house anymore. Jersey girl, that's not her house. She moved 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. She lives in a beautiful house now. That's not her house. But
Yeah,
I
somebody said,
had asked. I mean, if
what?
wait, who's this? Not really. But for Angel and her laugh, I will drop the link. Oh, I hate that you put him on the spot, Chris. Wait, I forgot. Oh, here it is. Invite. See? Copy the clipboard. I hate that you put him on the spot, but
You got to do what you got to do. I mean, the people,
okay. Because I just figured that when the time was right.
as I've told you, like Dominic's podcast, it's a dope podcast because it's not just like some guy on there just like, yapping about, this and that. Like, no, it's like informative and educational and entertaining at the same time. And it's like, it's just, it's a
love
cool
it.
thing. Yeah,
I
it's a cool
listen
thing.
to it all the time. Because
Oh,
I've learned so
like,
much.
I remember when I was a kid, when I was like a teenager, a young teenager, like 14, whatever, 15. I remember I read Gravano's book and my friends read it and we just assumed it was true because it was in a book, But imagine being that age and having Dominic's podcast instead and just breaking everything down. You'd have a whole different outlook on all this stuff.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. You know what I wanted to say? Oh, here's
here.
Dominic. I'll tell you after Dominic. Hold on. Hello, JTP. Hello. Hold on.
Okay, let me just mute my thing.
Hello.
I would say sorry to put you on the spot, but I'm really not sorry. I'm glad you're here. So
Can you guys hear me all right or no?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm going to remember that one, Chris. Don't worry about that.
Get him back. Get him back. JTP. Get him back.
It's not even really my show to invite people. It's Angel's show.
Part 2 may be focusing on Chris Casparoso of my podcast. We gotta see
No, you could do it in an episode.
Anything to support Angel.
No, you could do it in an episode. You could put the video of Eli outside the courthouse. So Eli says this would happen, but here's him, being asked about his food stamps.
Yeah, no, we just added on the site. We added because there's a few people that they don't have YouTube channels, but they do have like social media like Instagram, Facebook. I know there's who knows, there may be Facebook groups. So we just added a section to cover that. Anybody with any kind of social media that want to be part of it, now they could be part of it. And even with your site, Chris, you have a website. So then we kind of added, I made it clear that that's for a website. Maybe there'll be other websites that will pop up. So again, as this thing develops, we'll keep changing it. And thank you for that, Mind. I appreciate that compliment. Mind someone else's business. Thank you.
So are you, if you can't say, that's cool, but like, if you can say, like, what are your plans for We Push Back? Like, where do you see it going?
Well, I don't really know. It's kind of developing. I see a lot of, I guess I just see it growing based on who we start adding, who we start bringing into it.
Sure.
My main focus for it, and the main plan was really just the exposure aspect. Because YouTube, you only have a YouTube footprint. Now that we have the website, now we could start diving into. I got my team looking into SEO rankings to get us when people start searching some of these informants' names. Mm-hmm. Now the site will start popping up, and that'll bring them to everybody who's associated with the site's channel or website. And now the train of thought I have for that is potential jurors, things like that. As we know, when people are on a jury, they're going to go and they're going to research people. And I'm sick of every time they research defendants, all they see is all this bad stuff. And they research these informants, all they see is all the good stuff when all the tales they're telling on their podcast. So I want to somehow impact that. So now people start to think, these guys aren't as great as they seem to be.
One really interesting thing that I heard you say on one of your shows, or it may have been on, one of these StreamYards. I don't remember where it was, but I heard you say something interesting that a jury, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you said that a jury has the right to nullify like a trial or whatever. They can basically throw the trial out, but the jury isn't told that. And
correct.
Somebody got in trouble for passing out pamphlets in front of the courthouse to alert them of this.
Yeah,
I don't remember exactly what you said.
Yeah, you got arrested for that. It's a jury nullification. It's a constitutional right where basically a juror could say, I don't like what took place. I believe the prosecution didn't approach this case in the proper manner, so we're just not going to convict, even though we may think the guy's guilty. We don't like how this took place. We don't like the tactics they use, so we're going to invoke nullification and just not convict.
And what would that mean? A mistrial or the whole indictment?
No, it would just mean that the jury would vote not guilty. So the juror has a right to vote not guilty, not based on the evidence. They may think the guy's guilty, but if they have a problem with the proceedings, if they have a problem with how it took place, they have a right to use nullification.
Gotcha.
And it's crazy because you can't mention it. The defense attorney can't bring it up. Nobody could bring it up. It's like this unwritten rule, but it is part of the Constitution. It's laid out. You're allowed to invoke it. But the guy I was talking about, where I read the case, which I couldn't believe when I read it, he was standing on the court steps and he was handing out flyers to the jury, and I think they were trying to say he was impacting the jury somehow. And just it's crazy, you know, that somebody would get arrested for just informing people of that.
Of their rights. That's crazy. Yeah. So and why doesn't the judge mention this then when he gives the jury instructions? And also, why can't a defense attorney bring this up when they're selecting the jury? Like, well, how would you feel about this law right here? Like, why can't they bring that up?
Well, I can't answer what their train of thought is on that, but I believe the way a lot of judges look at it is we want the jury just to not even realize that they have that option. We want them just to focus on the case, and they only have two options: guilty or not guilty, based on the case. Yeah. So I believe it's just something almost like a dirty little secret, for lack of a better way of putting it. And it's just, that's why I try to put information. I put it on the community page. I even there was a good video done by another YouTube channel. It was like a 6-minute video where they just explained to the public what jury nullification is. So it's just something that people need to be aware of. I'm not saying they need to use it. But I'm just a firm believer, and everybody needs to be aware of how things are supposed to work, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. When things are hidden and shrouded in secrecy, that's where we have all these problems. Wrongful convictions.
I had no idea about that until you mentioned it. But what I'm thinking about right now is if I was on, like, I don't know what it's called, but if I was, up for jury selection, when they're picking the jurors.
I like Jade's comment.
but I'm just thinking right now, like, what would happen if, they're questioning me if they want to make me a juror or not, and they ask, well, what do you do, professionally? Well, I built this website, and the prosecutor would be like, yeah, we want him out of here.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely. When they're doing the vetting process, I'm sure I'll have a hard time being a juror. I'm sure Angel will have a hard time being a juror. Obviously the prosecution's not going to want people who think open-mindedly and think reasonable. They're going to want people that think like them. And, you have a certain amount of strikes. I believe on the federal level, it's 5 or 4 strikes when you're doing voir dire, where you're going through the jurors and you're picking the jury and you're asking them questions. But we all know that vetting process is nonsense. People say whatever they want to, whatever they think that the jury and the court want to hear, so they can get on the trial if they want to serve. And a lot of these jurors, if it's a high-profile case, they want to serve. So when they're going through that voir dire and the defense, I believe on federal has 5 strikes, and the prosecution has 5 strikes, where they basically could knock out 5 of the potential jurors, and then you're done. If there's more you don't like, you're pretty much done, and then it just comes down to whoever the final selection is.
Angel, what was the story in your brother's last trial in 2009 that the judge threw out 2 of the jurors, like in the last week of the trial or something like close to the end? Like what was the story there? Because I forget.
Yeah, because those 2 jurors seemed very favorable to Charlie Penisi. Like one of the jurors anonymously, you don't even know if it was a juror or not, but the judge got an anonymous note saying that one of the jurors used to say, and there's my man Charlie. Yeah. And so
it could have been Ted Otto that wrote that.
Well, that's exactly. Well, what happened was then they got another anonymous note from someone complaining that a juror took food home for her family. Yeah. So that which was so ridiculous. Like, so what? She took her food home. She took extra food home for maybe she didn't have money for food.
Yeah, because I don't think they pay that much for jury duty. So
No, and it's not that. It was just they were trying to get, and sure enough, they got rid of the two jurors, and both of them, they said afterward would, would get very excited every time Charlie got up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they do. They you know how that works.
Well, I'll tell you one interesting,
Dominic.
crazy story similar to that in a way, where one of the jurors in the past trial, my father, one of the jurors, I don't know, had some crazy story where she said, and this is all in the transcript, so no, anybody who wants to say I'm talking about protective, I'm not. This is all in the transcript,
Right.
public record. So one of the jurors stood up. It was before they brought in the other jury members, and they said they received a call from somebody that sounded Italian. Now, first off, imagine the role was reversed and they said that somebody made a phone call sounding like another ethnic group. That would have been a problem. So they said, oh, somebody sounded Italian, and I don't know, it seemed like they were threatening me. I don't know what their goal was, but it was just complete nonsense, and the jury, the judge just kind of, blew it off. But right there, that told me, okay, now we have a problem with this juror. If that's how they think, somebody sounded Italian and they're trying to intimidate them. It was complete, absolute nonsense.
Was it an anonymous jury?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
You see, my brothers and my fathers, well, I'm not sure about, I think it was the last jury of my father's, but I know my brothers were all anonymous.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
My brother's jurors were anonymous.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize what takes place when they're not sitting in the courtroom. When you're able to hear what happens at the sidebars, and you're able to hear these rulings and what they're allowed to question about, what they're not allowed to question about, when the defense tries going down a road to expose somebody on the stand, and the prosecution will jump up and object, and they have a sidebar, and then you're not allowed to continue the questioning. I mean, it's so, that's why it's really scary if you don't have a fair judge. Man, it's very hard to get a fair trial. They could lead that entire trial the way they want to lead it, and that's the bottom line.
Exactly. Now my brother's trials 1, 2, and 3 had Judge Schindlin.
Gotcha.
She was very fair. I have to say, she was fair. After the first trial, and there was a mistrial. Now, don't forget, my brother wasn't allowed out on bail. But after the trial, when they declared a mistrial, she got so mad because she told the government, you told me I was going to see this, and this, and I didn't see any of that. I am giving him bail.
That's all you could ask out of a judge.
Exactly.
I always explain to the defense from day one, I said, the way I see it, I don't want them on our side. I don't want them on anybody's side. I just want them to be fair and go by how things are supposed to play out. It's not about sides. Just be there, be fair, allow the same rulings for both sides.
Yes.
And, unfortunately, it's rare.
Exactly. And she was on the documentary that they did, Gotti, Godfather and Son. And she said she saw right through it. She saw what the government was doing. They were trying to, when they shipped my brother off to Florida, and she said, that she knew what they were doing. They were just trying to get a different judge than her. And what happened is the judge in Florida saw right through it and said, you know what, this is just another attempt. This is going back. This doesn't belong here. And he sent it back to New York, thank God. And then they did succeed in getting a different judge, and he was pro-government all the way, but it didn't work. The jury saw through it. And
yeah, thank God they had a reasonable jury. Thank God.
Yes.
Well, even the jurors that said they afterwards that thought that your brother was guilty, they all just said something. Like some of them said, "Yeah, we thought John was guilty, but we couldn't." But at the same time, the star witness, we didn't believe him. How can you convict somebody on that? It's like
right.
It's like what? So
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I try to just focus on what I do, just to appeal. From my point of view, I think that's the only shot we really have and only control we really have to try to have the public a little more educated, a little more in tune, a little more open-minded. So that's why I started doing my thing, because I don't think anything else is going to change. I don't think the system's going to change. I don't think
No,
the way
no.
they prosecute. I don't think the way they target. I don't think any of that's going to change. So the only shot is if you start it to the reasonable, open-minded public. There's a lot of people, as we know, they're just closed-minded in their lost cause. That's not who I'm appealing to. But if anybody has a shot, and maybe one day you get somebody on a jury who remembers something I said, remembers a point I had given, and they look at the case with more of an open mind and don't have whoever's in front of them convicted from the time they enter the courtroom.
Yeah.
You know, JTP, we had an
You
older
can call me
man.
Dominic. It's all right.
Yeah, Dominic. We had an older man. I mean, like a really older man. And he slept every day. He slept. Every time you looked over there, he was sleeping. And he voted to convict.
Unbelievable. Well, that tells you right there. He had his mind made up from the second he saw the
Exactly.
defendant, you know?
Exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
what's scary. That's what's scary. A lot of, and listen, they're very intelligent. The government's a very intelligent organization. They know everything they're doing. They know when they're going to make an arrest, so they know to start pumping the news into the media, getting the articles out there, getting the headlines out there. They know exactly what they're doing. They'll concentrate it on the area where the indictment will come down. So let's say in my case, if it was in Westchester County when my father had his trial, every day there was something in the Westchester papers, on the local news. That's what they do. They drown out the media. So before you even walk in that courtroom, people look at it as if, okay, well, if they're not guilty of this, they're guilty of something. So, they're going to have to pay for that, which that's not how the law works. And somebody like that should not be on the jury.
Exactly. You know, I never wanted to serve on a jury. I never wanted to be a part of jury. Nothing to do with it. And then after my brother's trial, then I says, you know what? I am going to be on a, I am going to go.
Absolutely. I feel the
They
same way.
won't pick me. They won't pick me.
No, most
wouldn't.
likely.
The defense will pick you.
My mother went and they excused her on the spot. You know, I had to take her, and they were, you know, she said, they were like, any relation? She said, yes. And they said, well, you're excused. She goes, well, I don't want to be excused.
Yeah, they didn't care about that. They probably couldn't get her out fast enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't get her out fast enough.
Can you be a juror if you have a felony on your record, or is that like automatic disqualification? And is it different in state and federal court?
No, you can't be a juror if you're a felon or anything like that. You won't get the. I don't think you'll get the summons for that. On the state level, I'm not sure, Chris. I got to be honest. Mostly, I deal with federal,
Okay.
but federal, I believe you have to have a clean record.
Okay. What about a misdemeanor, or is that different?
I don't think a misdemeanor would show up on a jury pool submission when they're pulling the jury, but I know a felony does.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know for sure.
No, I hear you.
I thought you were an attorney also in the beginning.
Yeah, no, I don't really have the temperament to be an attorney. You got to play too nice, and you got to play politics, and I just want to help the defense in the background and make sure they're getting the best possible defense. That's all.
I wouldn't mind like cross-examining people. That might be
well,
fun.
that I would like.
I wouldn't want to do any of the other stuff.
It's the politics I'm not crazy
Yeah.
about. Having to play nice with the different sides, that's where I'm not too crazy about.
You know what? You can tell when somebody is about to like get in trouble when Jerry Capici starts writing about them every
Let's
week.
not even give him any attention. This
Well,
guy.
I'm just saying, you can always tell because.
He's a scumbag. He's a scumbag.
Did you watch your mouth?
He's a scumbag. He
Oh
prints
my
stuff that he knows are total lies and acts like it's, oh, well, this is what he said. So, you know.
Angel, you got to implement the cuss jar. Whoever curses, they got to put some money in a jar for your animals.
Yeah, exactly. Chris already still owes me $1,000.
Dana's asking a question. JTP, if you know the PD, I guess the police department and on the jury, is that right to do, or are you supposed to be excused? It depends on the case. They're going to ask you about it when they're going through the voir dire process. They're going to ask you about all of that, depending on the case. If police department's involved, not involved, it all depends on the case. There's no strict rules where you'll just get thrown off. It's really a matter of the prosecution deciding, the defense attorney deciding who they want to keep, who they don't want to keep, and then the judge is involved in that conversation.
Don't they use people like, say, maybe a police officer? Don't they use those for civil cases?
Say that again, Angel?
Do they use say a police officer, right?
Right.
Wouldn't they use him like for civil cases instead of not civil? Yeah, like when you sue people instead of like criminal cases.
What do you mean use him?
As a
Like
juror?
I'm sorry, let him sit on the jury.
Oh, I'm sure a police officer could be on the jury. Yeah, it's but there's no like rule across the board. In other words, each trial is different depending on what the defense feels is going to help them out and what the prosecution feels is going to help them out, and then the judge ultimately decides. But there's no rule on that as far as if you're a police officer and you can't serve. It all depends on the trial, I guess. Obviously, if it's a case where it's a civil case and maybe they're suing the police department or something like that, they're not going to want that guy on the jury.
Okay. Because I would think that like any defense attorney doesn't want a police officer on their jury.
Not necessarily. It depends on what the case. Like Dominic said, like Dominic said, it depends on what the case is about. You know, the defendant may be an ex-cop or have a brother who's a cop. You know, you never
Correct.
know.
Yeah, it all depends on the details of the case, and then the defense will strategize when they're going through the jury selection process on who they think would be an ideal juror and who would not. But again,
And do
I
you do
don't have
any of
much
that?
faith in that process.
I'm sorry.
No.
Did I hear you the other night that you're a part of that? Your company does that? Your company will suggest to attorneys like what jurors to pick or
Yes,
not?
but sometimes the cases I've been involved, some of the attorneys will ask for our insight on that, and then we'll just assign somebody to that to take notes on their answers, and then we'll strategize. Sometimes they don't. The main focus of what we do is really the e-discovery, getting the information off, the transcripts, the investigation process, really everything to prepare them for trial. So as the attorneys are preparing their litigation and their arguments, we're in the background doing the due diligence, going through the transcripts, finding out what's helpful, finding out what's inaccurate, pulling everything off of the discovery because they give you hard drives nowadays and you got to sort through it all. There's a lot of what they call bloatware on there where it's hard to find the actual evidence. You got to pull that out. So it's really just streamlining it, putting it all in place, and then strategizing with the defense so we know what to use, what not to use, possible witnesses to call, background information on the informants, things of that nature. Everything to put it easily, everything to prepare for trial and litigation.
Oh wow.
You know, it's interesting. I'll tell you that. It's
You know,
an interesting field.
you know what bothers me the most is that you're not allowed to let the jury know. Like we had a cooperator, right?
Right.
He had something to do with the whole riot in Brooklyn, the Yusef Hawkins. We remember that when the black boy was killed. And
Vaguely.
yes, Yusef Hawkins, right? And the jury wasn't allowed to know that. Like that he started it, he was a part of it, he helped, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's something they should know.
Well, think about, from your own experience, Angel, how many things the jury wasn't allowed to know, right? It's crazy.
Right, but yet they brought up something with my brother that wasn't even a part of the case. But
that's their move. They brought in informants.
exactly.
They brought in informants on the last case that had nothing to do with the current charges. They just came in. There was an informant, that Sean Richards, came in and talked about things from the 90s. Then somebody was talking about things from the 70s. Nothing to do with the current charges. Zero. But they're allowed to do that. But God forbid we want to talk about the informant's past and things they've done. Then you get all the objections and you get the judge who says, well, that's really not relevant to truth-telling ability.
Well, that's what happened with what was his name? He got out of prison early because of it. But he came, he testified. It was Kevin Bonner. He came, he testified about something that had nothing to do with the case. He wasn't charged with it or anything. Everybody, we were all looking like, I don't understand what's the purpose of this if it's not even a charge. But
It's
they
just
got
to
do
paint
it.
guilty. Yeah, it's to paint guilty.
Exactly.
They want again, they're smart. They know strategy and they know how people think. The average person, unfortunately, sometimes isn't reasonable, or they hold on to their bias when they go in that courtroom. So they play to that. So they want to paint this picture of maybe all these past offenses somebody may have committed or already served their time for, and they just want to ingrain that seed into these jurors' heads. So the juror will say, okay, well, maybe I'm not 100% convinced they're guilty, but they're guilty of something. And that's the problem. That's what I really try to get across. That's what I try to get across. Your job as a juror is there to weigh the evidence of the charges. So whatever they're charged with, weigh the evidence related to that. Nothing else. Nothing else.
And then they start with the like we said before, they start putting the stories in the newspapers,
Absolutely.
on the news. It's so messed up.
Well, think about it.
Really
That's
is.
why I started doing what I was doing, because before all this is going on, and hopefully this week pushback takes off, think about it. A jury goes now. They start listening to all these podcasts, right? Without any opposition now. They're just hearing all these stories. They're going to think these informants are the most obedient, civil servants, good people, great character. Everything out of their mouth is true. That's what they're going to think. So it's very important that people show, well, that's not always the case. And you have to show it with facts. And that's what's great about your site, Chris. You just stick to the facts. When you stick to the facts, you cannot lose an argument.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I was told, because once that website went up, all kinds of people from various walks of life would contact me about John A-Light and their experiences with him. And some people didn't want to be quoted. Others were fine with. Some people wanted to be quoted because they hate him, because he's just one of these people that just screws everyone he meets. He acts. Everybody basically told me a very similar story, that they thought A-Light was their best friend in the world. He charmed them. He was there. He offered them help. He'll do this. He'll do that. And then once he got what he wanted, money from them, ripped them off, whatever it was, that's it. Cut them off or whatever. Or things that, a similar story, that he ripped them off, screwed them over, tried to take their girl, whatever it was. And there were a lot of people who contacted me, and some people had some great stories, and I had every reason to believe they were being truthful, but there was no evidence to back it up, So
yeah, you can't use it. The way I am, I just won't use it. If somebody tells me something, I really won't even use it. I won't even entertain it unless I could see what supports that. And I have my own opinions. Trust me, I don't need evidence for certain things that I'm aware of, but I do recognize if I'm on a public format and a public forum and I'm appealing to the public, you have to bring facts. People don't really care about opinions in a lot of ways. They just want to know facts. And that's why I make it clear. I don't even care if somebody likes informants, don't like informants. That's irrelevant. That has nothing to do with what I'm trying to convey when I speak. I just want anybody who's reasonable would think at the very least they should be telling the truth. And if they're lying, that should be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, 100% if they're lying. Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. There was one cooperator who for 3 trials, never mentioned A-Light's name, never once. And then suddenly the 4th trial, A-Light's name came out of his mouth.
Scars you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say his name, but whatever.
Sorry.
So no, but
sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't think before I spoke. But
wait, but let me finish. So, but the thing is that the jury wasn't allowed to know that.
And they weren't allowed to know that there weren't 3 trials, 3 RICO prosecutions
Exactly.
previously.
So that's what happened. So but Charlie was, Charlie was good. Charlie was smart. What he did was, instead of saying that, what he did is he took Scars' testimony, the transcripts, and he put down 1, 2, and then 3 down on the table and said, "When did you mention his name?"
He was an intelligent man, Charlie. I met him. I told you I met him, and what a gentleman, and really just a great guy. Great guy.
What
Yeah,
he
sure.
was the best. When I tell you the best, he
And
wasn't.
trust me, I don't like many people, so that's a compliment. He's a great guy.
Yes,
The
he really
way I
was.
look at life is I'm not racist. I just hate everyone. So like,
No, he really was. Like the first trial, he wasn't, our attorney. He was someone else's attorney. And then, but he still, all the attorneys were going to the attorney room for lunch, the lawyer's lounge, whatever they called it. Charlie used to sit with us every day.
Well, he had class.
Every single day. And then even during jury deliberations, he would sit with us every day and he would tell stories. He would tell us, he would make everybody laugh. He was an amazing man.
Well, I'll tell you why I liked him. After one of the proceedings, I took several of the attorneys to eat, and he was the only one who offered to pay. And I was like, no, no, everybody else was there for a free meal, and he was the only one who offered to pay. So
you see,
that always stuck in my head. That always stuck in my head.
He was a good man. I missed him.
What? Okay, so why did Charlie sit with you guys and not the attorneys at lunch? Like, what was his why? What was the reason for that?
He wanted to sit with us.
No, but why though? Like he just liked you guys, or did he want to be there for like emotional support, or like he didn't like the attorney? Like, what would be the difference between an attorney sitting with you or the attorneys?
The defendant, his clients, probably, right?
What? I didn't hear you. What'd you say, Dominic?
He just probably wanted a bond with his clients.
Yeah. Well, you
guys.
Why wouldn't he want to sit with us? We were a fun bunch.
Wait, so what was the story with Curtis Sliwa that he was like sitting at a table near you guys, whatever, and then like
why would you bring that bozo up?
Because it's a funny story.
He just, I don't.
Then he went on the radio and lied about what happened at lunch or whatever.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he called me a cousinette. Like anything to start a fight. He just always wanted to start a fight. He came in, and Frank Morano used to sit with us every day also. It was Charlie, Frank, all of us, and my mom, whoever else came. And he came in. He got so mad that Frank was sitting with us, which was stupid. He knew we were very good friends with Frank. But then, Frank got up politely and, he said, excuse me. And he went and sat with him for a little while. No one said a word. And then the next day, he had to go into this whole dramatic story of how, and the cousinette, the sister, the cousinette was sitting there snarling at me. I'm like, what?
Didn't he say that like Big Steve threatened him or something? Like
I don't remember that, but I remember him saying that I was snarling. Like, who cared? Nobody cared. And Frank used to just laugh.
Angel, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I got to bounce off.
Yep. Dominic, thank you so much.
No, I want to thank you for having me on, Chris. It was a pleasure. And listen, both of you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family.
You too.
Yes, you do.
Day. And everybody in the chat, please have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy the day.
Thank you so
Happy
much,
holidays,
Dominic. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye. Why did you have to bring up Sliwa?
Because I wanted to laugh at him. What can I say?
You scared our guest right off.
Remember he lied in the newspaper that he was like grilling your brother at Frank's wedding?
And that was another ridiculous thing. They were on separate. First of all, Frank's wedding was huge. The room was huge. He was on one side. He was on the other side. Nobody even saw each other. That is just crazy.
He is crazy. It's like
they were nowhere near each other.
Anyway.
And we were sitting all together, and I think that maybe he got mad because everybody was like, there was a line to say hello to my brother. That's probably what bothered him.
I'm surprised you and Curtis Sliwa, don't get along because you have feral cats that you take care of, and he lives in a studio apartment, I think, with 14 cats, according to YouTube.
Shut up.
No.
You better shut up. He blocked me on Twitter.
I remember a few years ago when I don't remember what he said. He was saying something about your brother on Twitter, and I think it was your nephew Frankie, and he said
No,
He's
that
like,
was
"Oh,
my son. My nephew Frankie's not on Twitter. Was it my son or my nephew?
I think it was your nephew," and he said, or maybe it was somebody else, but he said something. Oh, like Curtis, you wanna come meet us? I'll send you a cab, but like, you had to get the
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
You had to get the joke, putting the joke in that. But, and your nephew John, he the MMA, who's a very talented MMA fighter. The he said something that Curtis Sliwa, like, my father's upstairs relaxing in his king size bed right now because you were such a terrible witness. So thank you. It was something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
It was
remember.
something like that. I don't
I
remember.
just remember that he said something. He always has to start. He said something about my brother, and then someone, Twitter. There's a lot of troublemakers on Twitter. They tagged me in it, and I just said, "Oh, please." He's so 1990s. Get over it already. And then that was it. I used to forget that my nephews were on Twitter, but they're not anymore. They haven't been on in a few years, thank God.
And
Because
there was a fake account that somebody made about your brother, and there was like one tweet on there and said, I think it said, "My nephew's got me doing this. How am I doing?" Or,
yeah, that
but
wasn't
it was a fake
him.
account. Yeah.
That wasn't him. And then someone had asked me if my brother was on YouTube, and I said no. But then I saw that someone did start an account for him on YouTube.
Yeah, Big Steve.
Oh, and so what happened? They never, nobody ever. He
Well,
posted those
I,
3
I,
videos, and nothing ever.
well, I think that account was originally just put up to promote that he had a book out
Oh,
and
okay.
to answer some of the false allegations that were made against him.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yes, that's right. He did Boston Red. But I don't even want to talk about any of them. Like, I don't know how we even got onto this.
listen, if it was just you doing the show alone, you'd be onto something far more bizarre. So,
What do you mean far more bizarre? I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about how, when all these shows started, and I'm going to be tacky right now.
please go.
I'm allowed one tacky comment a night. Okay?
What's the thing from this is your final lifeline, whatever? Who wants
Yeah,
to be a podcaster?
Yeah, this is my one tacky moment. Okay. I just want to mention that I helped a few people when they first started on YouTube. I shared everything and asked people to sub to them. I shared it everywhere. And I have to say that the only people who have reciprocated was MRE, King Shades. I didn't even help you because I didn't really know you, but I see you shared today. And did I say Cane Shades?
Yes.
Okay, Cane Shades, Justice TechPros, MRE, and iLight. No one else. So thank you for nothing. And thank you to the people who shared.
All right, I give it 48 hours before there's an episode. Unappreciative Angel Gotti calls out anonymous podcasters.
Yes, I'm sure there will be.
Somebody called us creeps because we don't show our faces on here or whatever. Well, we got pictures,
Yeah, like, so what? Well, I'll show my face.
And like these people saying
As
this,
soon
like
as
they
I
have
get-
such nice faces,
As soon as I get a touch up, I'll I cover up my gray hair. No, I like it this way anyway.
My barber's in the Bahamas, so.
Oh, that's really nice. And then there was another thing that I wanted to say that I liked Angel. I also liked Angel G5. Angel G5 I liked the most. But when I told Chris to just go on and do everything for me, I just let him handle it all. He said that I needed a URL, whatever that is, I don't know. But he got me this, and he said that someone else had my real name, which and they haven't used it in like 11
Yeah,
years.
it was like some, I don't know. I looked at it briefly, so I could possibly be wrong, but what it looked like to me was like, like a cholo, like like a Mexican from like Southern California with like a skateboarding video from 11 years ago, and for whatever reason it said youtube.com/Angel Gotti. But well, you got youtube.com/Angel Gotti 5, which goes along with your Instagram and Twitter handles, so it
Right.
matches,
But remember what I told you? I didn't want to use my name. I wanted to do Angel G5. That's what I wanted.
And I didn't think that was good. I thought you should just put Angel Gotti.
Yeah, but you also said that to take that now because someone else will take it.
Yeah, and it's also putting Gotti on there is your name. It's a well-known name, so it's going to promote your channel. It's your name. Your family suffered for that name.
I know, but I didn't want to do that, remember?
Your family worked hard for that name, so it's
But I didn't even want to do that. I just wanted to.
It's your right to use your own name.
I know it is. I know it is, but I wanted to use Angel G5.
Well,
but so that's the reason why I have Angel Gotti there. And what else? Did you want to talk about anything else?
Well, I'm glad we said we were capped at an hour because I'm running out of material.
Oh, look, I liked most of my family loves your dad except for the Wonder Bread Wops in my family. Your child will pick up. Thank you. I don't even know what Wonder Bread Wops are.
Yes. What exactly is a Wonder Bread Wop? Because I heard that on what does that mean? Like an Italian, but he's not really Italian. He's like,
I guess he's. You know what?
I know what he means. It's like I don't know how to put the words, but I know what he means.
Oh, you do know what it means?
Yeah, I mean it means it's like, I mean, I'm not Italian, but it means it's like Johnny
Americanized Italian,
but Americanized in the sense of like you got no flavor, basically. It's like you're Italian, but you're not Italian. You don't have any swag. Like it's you're
I don't even know what that means, and you're not even Italian. How could you explain it?
Because I just know. I mean, I'm half Greek, and my dad's from Argentina. He speaks Italian, so. Well, he worked at Sparks. He worked in the restaurants. It's like, and there were a lot of Italians and Germans who moved to Argentina. That he grew up with. So.
Yeah, my mother's family is from Italy, father's side, and they have like blonde hair and blue eyes. So, and they're really beautiful people. Her sisters are beautiful.
I Light Network said, guys like my Uncle John who lives in Levittown. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cuban B said there are Wonder Bread Cubans. Trust me. Yeah.
My mother-in-law lived in Levittown.
Sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know.
I like Levittown.
The Angel, what was Dad's favorite pie in Thanksgiving?
He liked pumpkin pie.
I was just going to say that. I like pumpkin pie.
I think he liked everything. Whatever my mother made, he liked.
It's all about the pie.
Yeah. No, he loved.
And the cranberry sauce.
No, my father loved lasagna. He loved it. And, that's what my mom made. And then, after my sister makes my sister makes a fantastic lasagna. But yeah, he loved lasagna. But the pies, I think anything really, but I think pumpkin pie. I have to ask my mom that.
I Light Network said, I thought Chris was Italian. Greeks do resemble Southern Italians, though. No, not Italian. I mean, I consider myself American or a New Yorker. I mean, I grew up in Queens, but my father came over from Argentina a long time ago, and then the other side, my roots go back to Greece. So,
yeah. John Jeronko. Oh, they're having a conversation. John would come once a month to Jersey to the Lindenhurst Diner. Oh, I've been at the Lindenhurst Diner. And guess what his favorite pit there was? Chess, the best. I don't even know what that means.
Cheese, I think you're saying.
Cheese? He said chess. Oh, yeah, cheese. I thought that kid was half Casperosa and half Italian.
Yankees fan said, Casperos, are you a Mets fan? Yes, I am a Mets fan.
Uh,
However, if the Mets aren't, I'm a New York fan. If the Mets aren't playing, listen, I hope the Yankees win in the World Series. And if neither one of them's playing, I probably won't pay attention. So.
yeah, right. Me too. But we're Yankee fans. No Mets for us. All Yankee fans. I remember, I'll tell you a story. I remember the day I had to go somewhere with my father, and I don't remember where we had to go, but I had to go with him. And I was so upset because Thurman Munson died. And like I was crying, I was so upset. Like it really bothered me that he died. And he and I just had the most amazing conversation for, I don't know, as long as it took us to get where we had to go. And then when we got back, we spoke about the Munson and Mickey. My favorite player at that time was Mickey Rivers. I loved Mickey Rivers because how fast he was and how many bases he would steal. And we just had like so many conversations about the Yankees. He was a Yankee fan. I was a Yankee fan. My whole family were Yankee fans. Did you? No. I think that he did, but he was a diehard Jets fan, my dad. Somebody wants to know if he was a Raiders fan. He liked them, but first of all, my father loved football. But he was a diehard Jet fan. And I think like half of my family is. Oh, that's so mean. Look at this, Chris.
Yes, I did. So.
So mean. That's mean.
Who was Carmine Munson? He was a baseball player? I thought you were talking about the Munsters, the TV show at first, like one of the characters. But
what?
I first thought you were talking about the Munsters, the TV show that when the old
Why
man
would
died
I
or something.
be so upset? No, Thurman Munson. He was a catcher for the Yankees.
Yes, but knowing what I know about you, it wasn't a far thought to me to think you would be upset, that the character died. So
no, it was Thurman Munson. What meal do you make that's homemade?
She makes great custom pizzas at home. That's what she makes.
You know what, Chris? I made it the other day. I'm going to make it again. You have to come over.
I will.
Yeah, I do. I make homemade pizza. What do I make that's really good? My daughter loves homemade chicken pot pies. I make them for her. That's her favorite. I make that for her. What else do I make? I make my Sunday sauce. My kids seem to like that. And I make a very good lentil soup. Really good. I use pancetta.
That was like a horrible sales pitch. Like what's so enticing about lentil soup? Like, what? Who cares? Lentil. I love. I make a really good, cheese plate. Oh my god, you have to try it. It's cheddar.
No, I'm not kidding. My lentil soup is really good. But I make a lot of homemade things. Half these people went out. What's this? Thanks to you, Angel. Half these people went out and bought a bottle of grape flannel. Live to say
You remember? You remember when Travolta was wearing your suit or whatever, your dad's suit at the last night of filming or something. I might be wrong in this, but I think he said, or everybody was saying, he said, look, 30 years later, it still smells like your dad, and everybody was mystified with it, wow, that's crazy, whatever. That's like a sign, from John from up above. And then later on, Tony said, "What are you talking about?"
No, it wasn't Tony. It was me.
Oh, it was you that sprayed the cologne on it?
Yeah, I sprayed the cologne on it. Yeah. Yeah, my mom makes the most fantastic shrimp balls. That she does. She makes shrimp balls that, oh my God, Christmas Eve, they would come piling in the house just to take some of her shrimp balls and go home with them. Yeah, she makes really delicious shrimp balls, my mom. How did? Well, Travolta didn't wear his suits.
Yeah, he did. The last night he was wearing it. Well, yeah, he wore your
No,
father's suits, and he wore the
he didn't. No,
overcoat too.
no, the suits were too big. No, he didn't wear the suits. He wore the shirt. No, he wore the ties, the hanky, the overcoat,
The ring too. It wasn't
the
wearing his pinky ring
jewelry.
or something.
Yeah, he wore the rings.
Well, it was the gray overcoat. I remember the last night, and
Yeah, I
he
just
said,
said.
he's like, wow, this is crazy. It still smells like your dad, you know.
Yeah, and the overcoat fit him nice. It fit him perfect. Yes. So he wore a lot of his stuff. My dad's favorite cologne was gray flannel. It's very strong.
Did he always wear gray flannel, or he wore other stuff too?
No, that was pretty much the one
had his
cologne
smell?
that he wore. Yeah, was gray flannel. Before that, I remember years and years ago, he used to wear something called Aramis. I don't even know if Aramis still exists.
Was he one of those guys who wore cologne in jail?
Are you out of your mind?
Well, that's what I heard. That some guys, they wear cologne in jail because they want, it's just a pride thing.
How would I
gonna
know
my
if he
hair.
wore? How would I know if he wore cologne? You ask the strangest questions.
I just figured, no, it's not a strange question. I figured it's a strange question that you would have asked.
No, I'm sorry. I never asked him. Dad, do you wear cologne in here? How was he supposed to get cologne in there?
Your dad probably had steaks coming in.
I wish to God he did, but no, he didn't. You forget he was in Marion, Illinois.
In the MDC, MCC,
No, in
Haven, wherever.
In MCC, he was in the shoe. Sorry, he was in
your dad was in a lot of jail, so I'm sure in some of them, he was able to make some moves happen.
Maybe years and years ago, but not the last time. No, not at all. He was in solitary confinement.
Well,
from the time he was arrested till the day he died, he was in solitary confinement.
Facts Over Feelings said A-Light wears aqua velva. I can't tell if that's an insult or not.
I don't know. I never A-Light wears aqua velva. Isn't that aftershave lotion?
It might be like Nair to take the hair off your legs. I don't know if it's like an insult or not. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if that's true. They used John Gotti tailor to dress the character Silvio on the.
That's not possible because A-Light said he shot the tailor and then.
Yeah, right. I don't know if that's true or not. I'd have to ask my brother. Yeah, I have to ask my brother. Trying to charge. Oh yeah, so somebody wants to know what we think of this Gravano Franzese thing.
I'll let you know when I see it. I don't really have an opinion on it. I can't give an opinion until it's actually out there. I know today that they released a podcast where both Gravano and Franzese called in by Zoom or maybe by stream. I don't know what device they use, but they were on together. I saw 30 seconds of them where they were arguing and it was funny. Franzese something Gravano was like, well, what did you even do when you were on the street? Like he was a nobody. Franzese like, well, what did you do? He's like, oh, I was involved in 19 murders. And Franzese was like, oh, good for you. You're a big you're a big freaking hero. 19, but that's something to be proud of. But it's but I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't really intend to either. I'm not really that interested in it.
No, neither am I. I mean, I did message Michael and ask him to ask Gravano a question. I wonder if he does.
Yeah, I mean, Michael
if he did.
No, Michael Franzese. I don't know Michael Franzese, but he appears to conduct himself like a gentleman. But I don't really have an interest in watching Gravano. He's just.
Well, I don't have an interest in watching him either. But I wanted Michael to ask him a question, so I never followed up on it if he asked him or not. But
I guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out is right. And it has. Well, we'll wait and see if he does. But what are you doing tomorrow?
Getting together with family.
Okay. Highly unlikely John Gotti Sr. had. No, he definitely didn't have cologne in Marion, Illinois, or in Springfield, Missouri. He definitely, without a doubt, did not have cologne. Do you have any news, Chris?
Not right now, no.
Not yet. Still not yet.
I'll present my news when I present it.
Okay, we're still waiting.
All right, so you're asking me you talk about me asking bizarre questions. You're asking a question I don't have an answer to.
What kind of cars did he drive? He drove Lincoln, always a Lincoln, and then Mercedes.
Yeah, Benz, didn't he? Yeah.
And then he got him. Then it was Mercedes. Well, I'd rather not say right now. I'll let you know when. Because what question did I want Michael to ask Sammy? I'll let you know. Somebody will, because I'm not watching it, but somebody will tell me.
Listen, if he asked him, I'm sure it'll be out there. People will know what question it was. Did your dad park in the driveway, in the garage, or on the street?
No, I lived down the block, so I had a garage. Mm-hmm. So my brother, it was my brother basically, would drive the Mercedes and park it in my garage, and then in the morning, take it out and bring it down the block.
And why didn't he park in the garage at your house?
I just said he parked in my garage.
No, but I said, but why didn't he park in the garage?
Because they didn't.
I mean, at his house.
Because they didn't have a garage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they didn't have a garage. They made a room out of it. So the car went in my garage. Casparosa, do we have anything definitive that A-Light never played ball at University of Tampa? I know for a fact that he didn't. That's why I ask.
It's a good question. No, I'm not sure if he actually played baseball there or not. I don't know. That's a good question, though.
How come you never looked into that?
It's probably in the files that we have somewhere, but I
can't. First, one thing, everybody, Chris has a terrible memory.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true.
No, what's true is that I don't want to give a wrong answer, and it's in those files somewhere. The answer to that, I don't know. I don't want to say it. Just I never really went looking for it. That's a good question.
Okay.
Because he talks all this game. Yeah, I was a star player, this and that, but do we really know that? I don't know.
Exactly. I know that Lewis, my ex-husband Lewis said that Jimmy was the better athlete.
Well, that's what Jimmy said. He said he was better than his brother at everything. He was tougher. He was smarter. He was this. He got more girls. Let Jimmy tell it.
Well, all I'm saying is that Lewis said Jimmy was the better athlete.
Like Jimmy A, when I talked to him, would just go on and on about how much of a better everything he was than his brother. like, okay, Jimmy.
I know. But who knows? Maybe he was.
Maybe he was. I
don't know. Who cares? Okay, what's this? My cologne in jail was Irish Spring.
Irish Spring.
Irish Spring. Spring. Yes. No, I said it was highly unlikely he had cologne on his mind. Yeah, that's true.
But before he was doing life or facing life, I'm talking about maybe in the 86 case or in the case where he was charged with having the carpenter guy shot or whoever it was that got shot, or in the 70s. I don't know, because that's what I heard, that a lot of these certain guys will put gel in their hair, they'll wear cologne in jail and get a little jewelry if they get their hands on it, and that's just, maybe it's a pride thing. I don't know.
Oh, I don't even know. I've never even heard of anything like that. Maybe, did you watch Oz?
I mean, when it was on TV, I saw some of it, not all of it, but I saw enough of it to know what the show was about.
I'm going.
Yes. All right. Say
Chuck,
good
you
night.
know who's good in that show? Chuck Zito was good in that show.
Victoria saying good night, everyone.
Good night, Victoria.
Good night, Vic. Do I trust Tom? So does anyone trust that Tom? I think he's up to something with Eli to save his image. Oh, you know what?
Okay. So when I came on here, what we started 10:15, right?
Mm-hmm.
A few minutes before that, I turned on YouTube, whatever, and I don't know, it just came up in my stream, whatever, that he was. I don't know why, but it came up like his show was on, whatever. I watched it for like 2 minutes, and somebody was asking him about, I guess in the chat, or I don't remember. Somebody was asking him, or maybe one of the people on the show, about. I think he was asking about Dominic, about how he put up that, that Penisi was a liar or whatever, and Tom didn't want to comment. He's like, I have no comment because I could get subpoenaed or something like that. I forget. I don't want to misquote him, and it would cost me $3,000 just to have a lawyer sit down with me, to have my lawyer come in to talk to me about it. But
So what? He doesn't want to comment now after all this time commenting?
I don't want to misquote it, but they were asking something about Dominic, and I may be misquoting it. But I believe what it was is that they were asking about Dominic putting up that Penisi was a liar and playing the surveillance or something. It was something. I watched it for like literally not more than 2 minutes, if that, maybe 60 seconds.
The thing that bothers me with Tom is that he has given Eli a platform from the very beginning, knowing that
bullshit. It's all lies.
he was lying, exactly. Knowing that, and it didn't matter. All that mattered to him were the views, and that was it. And I'm not lying either. And now, when he said, "I have homework to do," are you kidding me? Seriously, are you kidding me? You have homework to do? Why don't you go back to your very first interview and then see his last interview, and you tell me what homework you need to do? These people just aggravate me. Angel, did your parents have pets when you were younger? Yes, we always had a dog, always. I don't ever remember a time not having a dog. From the time I was a little, we always had a dog.
I always had a dog too.
Yeah.
The only time I didn't have a dog was when I was away in college. That was it. I always had a dog.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a month or two in between when one dog died before we got another one.
Thank you, Yankees for life. Thank you. Johnny might help Lucky Luciano create the commission.
Yes, I did.
That sounded good. I agree, Angel. What homework? Exactly. A blind guy could see 3 lights. Exactly.
Highlight said Penisi is a real scumbag. He has a vendetta against his former associates and even lied on John Jr. He's currently in Woodsack. He is a scumbag. Because like I said, I think it was on the last show we did that, at first, I gave Penisi the benefit of the doubt just as a viewer, as a spectator, or whatever you want to call it, just watching him on YouTube. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I said, all right, he's a cooperator. He's a rat, whatever. But he came off like humble and stuff, and I said, oh, maybe he's telling the truth. Who knows? But then little by little, I started to see things, and then when you factor in that he assaulted women and stuff, he knocked his girlfriend's teeth out. It's like, you know what? He is a scumbag.
Well, I know for a fact he lied about us going to the movies, something about Mary, that I know for 100% fact that he lied. He also lied about my brother. So my brother said he met him once.
Yeah.
Once. So,
well, again, we covered it on the other podcast we did. There's something about Angel. I forget if it was part 1 or part 2, but when I read after he testified at the first trial that he testified at, I think it was against Eugene Castell. I think that was the trial. And the prosecutors asked him questions. And in there, I don't even know why it came up. Well, I can imagine why it came up, but he said somewhere in there. So they're going through his history, and the prosecutor asked him, we before he went to prison, were you around the Gambinos? And he's like, yeah, I was around John Jr. or whatever. And I asked your brother, I said, yeah, who was this guy? This guy was around you or whatever. And he says, I don't know this guy. I may have met the guy once, maybe, something like that. And I was like, well, you know what that means? That means he's writing a book. But instead, he came out with a YouTube show. But
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we do. We're not tomorrow. We're not tomorrow because my daughter just lost her father. My kids just lost their dad. So we're gonna stay home tomorrow. I'm gonna cook for my little for my Victoria. I'm gonna cook for her, and we're just gonna hang out, the two of us. My grandsons have colds, so we're just gonna all stay home. And Christmas Eve and Christmas Day is very big for us, very big. So we'll all be together Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yankees for life. Castros are our angel. Oh,
Wait, where is it? Okay,
hold
hold on.
I just put it up. Castros are angel. Do you know if Penis still have a channel since Tom and he split up?
Oh, don't give him some.
You know what?
Advisement.
I'm taking this off. You know what I wonder is, I wonder why that channel broke up. And what I will say is, I don't believe Tom did anything wrong. I could tell you that much. I mean, that's my belief. I mean, say what you want about Tom, but I don't think he's really out there to disrespect people. He just gives guys like A-Light a platform. But I wonder if it has to do with, again, I don't know. I don't have anything personal against Tom, but I wonder if it has to do with him coming to the realization that, that Penisi knocked his girlfriend's teeth out,
No, not at all. No, not at all. No, not at all.
No?
Because he still doesn't believe it. So no, not at all. And we should end it there. No. You want to know what I think? I think I can have my opinion. I think it's because Tom went on Fatball Sicilian's show. That's what I think.
Or that the government told him to take that podcast down because he's contradicting his own testimony in it.
Yeah, I could be wrong. Whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah, do I?
But I seen John Jr. on a video of this guy who raps channel. Yes, that's Burner 415, right, Chris? Yeah, I believe. Yeah, that's Burner. Yeah, Burner 415. Burner is releasing an album called Gotti, and he has my father's voice on it. So that's coming out, I think, the December 12th? So it
may be December 3rd. I'm not sure, but I know they're doing the pop-up at Tony's restaurant, Levante, in Long Island City.
Yeah, they're having a pop-up on the 3rd, but I thought that it was coming out on the 12th.
Levante's a nice place. It's like a classy pizzeria. If anybody's in Long Island City, you want to go by there. So it's a nice little spot over there.
Yeah. So, Angel, I met your brother once at a gas station in Queens with two of my guys just by chance around 2005. I don't think it was him. I don't think he wasn't home in 2005.
He got out on bail probably late 2005, right?
Oh,
I don't know.
Very respectful and definitely not active in crime at that time. Yeah, it could have been him. He is very respectful. I have to say that much. Yeah, it's Burner, not a troll. Will John Jr. ever sit down with A-Light? John Jr. will not let A-Light make 1 penny off of him. Not 1 penny. So
mind someone else's business said, I start working at LIC. What's the name again? Levante. It's Long Island City.
Oh yeah, Tony's restaurant.
Yeah.
There's really good food. I'll tell you, pizza's delicious. Everything is good.
Tony Diudo, who was one of John's lawyers on the trials, and became a restaurateur.
No, What's It Mafia is not out yet. When is that coming out, Chris? Do you know?
Can't comment.
Oh, okay. We'll let you know. He can't comment, so we'll let you know about that. When your father was at home, was he boss of the house or your mother?
Something tells me your mother was calling the shots over there. But
No, he was the boss of the house, believe it or not. Yes, he was. But she was tough too. Let's see. A-Light also didn't own parking lots in Tampa. From everything I know, he may have been partners in a valet company, but both valet and lots in Tampa controlled by central parking systems during the last time period.
I'll tell you a Tampa story. I read I guess it was an FBI. I read a debriefing document from somebody who informed on him in Tampa in like '93, and A-Light says he didn't get chased didn't get chased by your brother in '91. I read a document by somebody totally unrelated to your brother, had no business with your brother at all, no connection, nothing. And the guy, A-Light was trying to intimidate the guy in Tampa, and the guy ran to the feds. And in the document, he said that, yes, he was telling what he knew about this guy, A-Light, and he said, yeah, he told me that, John ran him out of New York City.
Okay, so is that the same guy who testified?
I don't want to comment on
Okay, all right.
but it was,
Yeah,
somebody totally unrelated to everybody in New York, totally unrelated.
Yeah.
Said, yeah, A-Light told me this.
Okay. You got a better chance of seeing Jesus breakdancing on 42nd Street than you do seeing John Jr. That's right. That's 100% right. Not one penny ever. People make.
But I'm sure there are people dressed up as Jesus breakdancing down there in 42nd Street on the subways. It probably happens more than we know. So
Yeah, maybe.
There's all kinds of characters down there.
Maybe.
The last time I was in by 42nd Street, or I don't know which street, but it was one of the streets leading into Times Square, 45th, 43rd, whatever it was. The last time I was there, somebody tried to sell me heroin. That never happened to me before. I was like, what? But I'm walking. I'm with a friend of mine, and we came. I think it was like a mixer or something. And we were both like, I guess you could say business casuals. Like probably 2 years ago, we both looked nice, whatever. And after it was it was like a mixer for like Greek people in New York, like professionals. And afterwards, yeah, let's go out. Let's go get into something. So we decided to go by Times Square, and I drove, and it was like downtown. So we went up to Midtown, and I parked, outside of Times Square, and we're walking towards it. And there's a couple of hoodlums hanging out on one of the corners. And the guy just asked me, he's like, oh, you want H? I was like, what? I was like, no. And then when I passed on that, he tried to sell me his rap album. He's like, oh, you want to buy my CD? I was like, no. But
I could tell you without a doubt, 100% that he did not own Mirage nightclub. 100%, because I know who did. So no, that's definitely not. Angel, best to you. You too, Albert. You too. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Are you done? I'm almost done with my Christmas shopping.
What'd you get me?
Well, I didn't get you yet, but I'm almost done. I did everything online. How's that?
That's fascinating. What do you want me to say?
Oh, you like that thumbnail? That's my tree. That's a painting in my house that I love. I love it. I love red. I love anything red. But I love that painting. It's right here in my kitchen. I love it. Thank you.
What's your best Thanksgiving memory, or one of your?
Okay, I'll tell you one. We all went to our house in Pennsylvania, and it snowed, and we had the fireplace on, and the kids. It was great. It was really great. My uncle came with my aunt. It was great. We had a very nice Thanksgiving. So that's the one that sticks out really in my mind. It was really beautiful. What's yours?
Going to my uncle's house in Pennsylvania, and as a kid, went out there for a couple of Thanksgivings, and it was great just being there.
Yeah, same. Mine was in Pennsylvania also.
And then his wife was just like the most amazing cook. She was French and Lebanese, and just the most amazing cook. Like phenomenal. Like she could have been like a 5-star chef. Phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, phenomenal. And like he worked and she was a homemaker, and I'm telling you, it was phenomenal. And I tell her to this day, like my best Thanksgiving memories were going to your house in Pennsylvania and the cranberry sauce and the whole thing. They're just some of my favorite memories, or just her cooking on the holidays.
Yes.
Hold on. She said you can get Chris some Aqua Velva for Christmas. I still don't know what Aqua Velva is. Let me Google it. But no, I'm going to check Urban Dictionary, see what they say.
Are you kidding me? Aqua Velva was an aftershave. And yes, mind someone else's business. Yes. My aunts also. St. Augustine, nice little town. Haven't been there in years.
Hold on.
What?
Okay, so Aqua Velva, I'm looking on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
And wait, if I comment, can you put this up on the screen? How do I comment it here? Because this is funny. I don't see a place for me to comment here. It's not letting me.
Yeah, wait. I did see it the other day. Oh, I watched the tutorial and they showed me how to do it, but I can't remember now.
Anyway, Aqua Velva, a human male, usually bar-dwelling, who seems to use the trendiest cologne as a body lotion and thinks that he's the reason every lady in the place came out on any particular evening. Sometimes known to wear shiny clothing, lip gloss, eyeliner, and enough hair gel to make his head bulletproof, can also be identified by Justin Timberlake's sexy black ringtone. And then it says, as an example, in use, take a look at these Aqua Velvas that just walked in. They make me feel like I'm watching an episode of Growing Up Gotti.
What?
I swear that's what it says. If anybody goes to Urban Dictionary, you'll see it. So yeah, it does seem like something that would be, Johnny Light's forte.
Oh my God. My nephews were little kids then.
I'm sure A-Light has seen every episode at least twice.
Oh my God.
He has.
Aqua Velva is like cool.
A-Light was probably sitting there in the witness protection unit, waiting to testify against your brother. Yeah, I'm telling you, those kids that used to work for me. Yes, I did. Cool water. Aqua Velva was like cool water mixed with extra. What cool water was the shit, man. When I was in high school, that was the move. That and Curve.
I met
cool water's good cologne.
I met Berner about 5 years ago. He was at my friend's dispensary opening party. Really cool dude. Yeah, I heard that he is.
Yeah, he's cool. I met him. He's cool people, very much so.
Yeah. So then, and he's like really big in the whole marijuana industry. He's like one of the biggest, right?
I don't know how many people are bigger, but he's a real player. I can tell you that much. I don't know the scale of it, but he's a big time player.
Have I ever met Neil? Yes, I have, and he was a very nice man. Very nice man. That's all I could say. Very nice man. My father adored the ground he walked on, and the feeling was mutual. They really loved each other.
iLight Network says, please tell us more about the...
Wait, what happened? I clicked on it. Okay.
Please tell us more about the Greek term malaka. Well, Angel doesn't want me to curse, so that's out.
Well, what is it?
You want to know about Greek people? Watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That'll tell you everything you need to know. That movie is spot on accurate, except for the Windex. I don't know where they got that from.
Really? I always wondered if that Windex
my whole family got together and cracked up laughing so hard at that movie. That movie is amazing. But everything with the Windex, I don't know where they got that from.
Oh, so that Windex thing is not true.
Maybe it is in some Greek households. I never saw that, but the rest of it is spot on.
Oh, okay. I loved that movie.
Yeah, it's
I
authentic,
really did. Yeah,
100%
I
great.
loved it. I loved the November 11th story John told Berna Angel had to go get. Yes, that I told that on MRE's Mob Rats Exposed show. I told that story, but that's true. The courthouse was closed. It was a federal holiday, but this judge, I'll tell you, whatever, he wanted deliberations, and so they had to feed my brother, but there was nowhere to get food from. So they asked him if you could have anything. Well, what do you want? And he said, you know, a veal cutlet with olive oil and whatever else a semolina bread, and they came down. The marshal came down and asked me if I could get my brother. I said, "Can I get my brother?" I was so happy. I ran to Mulberry Street with high heels on because I was so excited to get him something like that to eat because he hadn't eaten, real food in a long time. They did diesel therapy with him. He had a severe kidney infection, and then they had him in solitary confinement. He was so skinny that I got scared when I saw him. And so I ran down to Mulberry Street. I even told the guy, listen, I'll give you extra. Please, you have to make it, and you have to make it quick. I think they told me I had like 35 minutes or something like that. And they made the sandwich. That sandwich was so nice. It was big. It was beautiful. And I remember it was $48. That's the most I ever paid for a hero, but I didn't care. I would have paid $148. And
You paid $48 for a hero sandwich?
yep, for my brother.
Well, it must have been. Well, you put together a huge sandwich for him, obviously.
Veal cutlet, fried veal cutlet. Yep. Yes, I did. And I was so happy to do that for him. I was so happy. I think I even had tears in my eyes. I was like so excited he was going to get to eat.
I think Christian Marone is getting in his feelings for you.
Who?
Christian Marone.
Oh, Angel in high heels. Yeah, and I don't mean real high heels because I don't wear real high heels, but I had like heels on, I should have just said. And really during deliberations, I would just go like with flats on or sneakers, but not sneakers. What do you call those? Those boot things, low boots. But that day it happened to be I had a little bit of a heel on, but I didn't care. I ran right down there. It was my friend Olivia and I, Kippy's sister. We ran down there. What were you going to ask me that before? Let's see. Dying to know Angel. You're too funny, Chris. Dying to know Angel. When people learn your name, do they get like goo eyes with amazement? Not really. I don't know why people think that. No. I don't know. They don't act like that. Eli, where's the letters? Chris has power to click on things also, so he's clicking on things. Eli, Gene Gotti, Cosa Nostra. Yeah, okay. That's another thing.
Let me go back.
No, that's another thing. Like, why can't all of these people on YouTube leave my uncle alone? Leave my uncle out of your mouths. Why is it that people on YouTube are bringing up my uncle? The man just did his time, came home. Leave him alone. Why do you keep bringing him up? I don't understand. And then that moron from California is saying, I knew what he was doing. No, you didn't, you moron. Leave my uncle out of your mouth. Everybody leave my uncle out of your mouth. Okay, so I did 2 negative things today. That's it.
Well, why don't we wrap this up on a positive note?
Wait, hold on. Somebody wants to know what's diesel therapy.
Nobody asked that.
Yes, they did. Somebody asked it, and now here, that diesel therapy is miserable. I hit 7 different federal prisons.
That's when they put you on a bus in belly chains, handcuffs, leg chains, totally uncomfortable, like a school bus, and drive you across the country from one prison to another where you can't get comfortable in the cell. They just keep moving you, and and when you get there, you don't have like a commissary. It's like when they just make your life miserable. And diesel fuel on a bus.
Yes.
It's completely miserable.
Hi, Angel. FBS mentioned on his show tonight that you told him not to have Jimmy Calandra on it. No, that's not true. That's not true. And listen, I'm not going to have people starting with me over FBS and all that. FBS knows the truth. I never told him not to have anybody on his show. Never. I never did that. And that's it. If he wants to say things like that, whatever. I'm not fighting with any of these people.
Well,
you know what? I'm loyal. I'm a loyal person. So because I was friends with someone and then suddenly I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to turn on that person and start talking bad about them. If he wants to do that to me, then let him do that. You know what? I don't care. I'm not going to be a part of that.
He may not have even said that. We'd have to see the clip.
Yeah,
he may not have even said it. Who knows what he said?
Well, yeah, but whatever. I'm not going to be a part of that. I don't really care. Let him say what he wants to say.
No, but again, he may not have actually said that.
They could all say what they want to say. I don't care. Just leave my uncle out of their mouths. That's it. Leave my brother, my uncle, and my father out of their mouths. Say what you want about me, whatever. Angel, what do you put in your spaghetti sauce? I just started making my own a month ago. I put onions, garlic, tomatoes. I put spare ribs. I put spare ribs, sausage, and then I put in meatballs, my tomatoes, and then I put my meatballs in.
Well, let's wrap things up on a positive note.
Okay, wait. Let's hold on. Thank you. Why bring that up? No, I'm not upset. Don't worry about it. I'm not upset. I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna do what everybody else does. That's not what I started this channel for. I'm not
just go on and attack people, basically.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a part of that.
Yeah, without getting to names, as I told you earlier today, I was invited to go on a show and go after someone. I wasn't really interested.
Yeah, I will never be a part of that. Never. I will shut it down before I even got into all of that. I'm not going to fight with people. What else? Angel. Oh, I got that already. Yeah.
Angel, let's wrap this up. Come on.
Okay. All right, hold on.
You're just trying to keep me on the phone. That's all this is.
You do that to me all the time. All right. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. My gran put chuck roast and chunks of pepperoni.
Thank you, Carol.
You know what? I know somebody.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, Carol. The same to you and yours.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, Carol. But Bears and Cigars, I know somebody who puts pepperoni in their sauce. I know somebody who did that, and it was very good, I have to say.
Listen, unless you're making me pizza again, can we wrap this up?
I will make you pizza again. I made it the other day.
All right.
Yeah, I am gonna ignore it all.
joke.
I said I will make you pizza. Do you like my pizza?
It's great. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
It's really good the way you make it.
Yeah, I'll make it for you again. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yankees for Life said, Angel, when are you going live again?
Knowing
her in like 3 hours. So.
You what?
I said knowing her in like 3 hours.
I don't know. When do you want to go live again? We'll see.
Well, are we gonna make this a weekly thing? Me and you, like co-host the.
It's up to you if you want to be a part of it. Of course, it's up to you.
Well, we'll see.
If sometimes you want to go on and I can't, you go on. If I want to go on,
what do you mean? Like I'm gonna go on your channel and speak for you?
Whatever you want. Don't care.
I'll pass on that, but
Mikey Griggs, thank you. Love you, Angel. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all have a great day tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving. We need another MRE episode. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. That one made me laugh so hard. My stomach was killing me. I would like to go live. Where'd you go? You can come on anytime, Yankees. Anytime. Let me know. Greeks are our ancestors.
Oh, it's true.
Really?
Greeks started everything important in the world. And if you see my big fat Greek wedding, you'll understand why.
I did see my big
Queens guy
fat
said,
Greek
"Stop
wedding."
commenting so Chris can get off." Thank you, Queens guy. I'm serious. Come on, let's wrap this up.
You can get off if you want.
Angel, have a fantastic evening.
No, wait, I'm coming with you. Wait, hold on. Thank you for the chat, Angel. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming here. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke and drive.
Don't
Please.
drink and
Don't
drive.
call an Uber. Don't do it.
Don't drink and drive. All right. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you,
Good
Angel.
night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, Kevin, we met. Shout out to Kevin. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Oh, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. Happy Thanksgiving.
Kevin, come on with us sometime and do a show. But yes. All right. I'm out of here. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.